Welcome to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe in the studios of our flagship stations, 89.3 Lakes FM and Civic Center TV on Comcast, Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99. We can also find us in the Birmingham-Bloomfield area on Birmingham Area Municipal Access and on City Cable 15 of Southfield. Join us live on Channel 10 in Waterford every day on the media network of Waterford and live to tape on Channel 10 in Orion Township and Lake Orion on Orion Neighborhood Television, otherwise known as ONTV. You can also find us on the radio in the Birmingham, Bloomfield, and Troy areas on the Biff Radio Network, 88.1 FM, the Biff, a service of the Bloomfield Hills School District. Find us online in a few different places on our Facebook pages at Civic Center TV 15 and at Lakes FM, on our website at civiccentertv.com, and then beginning at 11 o'clock for the Michigan Megacast on My Michigan TV or MyMy at mymytv.com. We can also learn more about downloading both their free MyMyTV apps for your smartphone and your smart TVs. All that information on our website, civiccentertv.com/megacast, where you can also find all of our programs on demand and find each individual interview as well. Then let's head over to our coronavirus page at civiccentertv.com/coronavirus, where we have links to the most up-to-date information on COVID-19 from reliable expert resources at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, and the Oakland County Health Division, so that you can stay up to date on everything that you need to know about the spread of COVID-19, precautionary tactics such as masking, as well as other things such as vaccination and booster shots available in your area and all throughout the state. Also on our coronavirus page at civiccentertv.com/coronavirus, we feature articles from many journalistic outlets throughout the state of Michigan in order to keep you updated on COVID-19 and other stories making headlines across the Great Lakes state. Our top story today from the Detroit Free Press: Michigan officials are warning residents of an expected COVID-19 case increase in May. State health officials are expecting an increase in the number of COVID-19 cases in May as people gather for graduations, proms, and other spring events. Michigan residents are urged to be aware of the increased risk of transmission and, quote, make personal decisions on masking and other strategies to protect them from COVID-19, said Michigan Department of Health and Human Services in a press release on Thursday of this week. The rise can be blamed on the spread of the BA.2 subvariant of the Omicron variant, a highly transmissible version of SARS-CoV-2 virus that causes COVID-19. Cases are already on the upswing in southeast Michigan. Quote, we're definitely seeing a very tiny uptick, said Dr. Matthew Sims, Director of Infectious Disease Research for Beaumont Health. Dr. Sims continued on by saying, quote, it's hard to be sure where it's going to end up, and closed quote. Health experts do not expect a significant increase in hospitalizations or deaths because of the great number of Michigan residents who are either vaccinated and or boosted or have immunity from infection during the recent spike in Omicron cases. The Southfield-based Beaumont Health System had 67 patients admitted with a primary complaint of COVID-19 across its 8 Southeast Michigan hospitals on Thursday, up from a low point of 29 admitted system-wide on March 29th. Quote, we wish we could avoid these types of increases in cases. The good news is we have excellent, effective tools for traveling safely and gathering with loved ones and preventing severe outcomes from COVID-19, said Dr. Natasha Bogdasarian, Michigan's chief medical executive. Michigan added 10,474 cases of COVID-19 and 78 deaths from the virus as of Wednesday. The most recent numbers available include totals from the previous 6 days altogether. The state reported an average of about 1,496 cases per day over that 5-day period, an increase from 1,104 cases per day last week. Wednesday's additions brought the state's total overall COVID-19 numbers to 2,411,464 cases and 35,935 deaths since the virus was first detected in Michigan in March of 2020. Hospitalization rates in Michigan increased for the first time this past week after declining for nearly 3 months. The state's health department noted that free KN95 masks are being distributed by community organizations and at local Michigan Department of Health and Human Services offices, county health agencies, and area agency on aging offices as well. The department also advised residents to get tested before traveling or attending group celebrations and gatherings, especially if the event will be attended by people who have increased vulnerability to the virus. People should also get tested if they think they've been exposed or have symptoms and should isolate or quarantine until they have been tested and test negative. Free at-home tests are available from the federal government at covid.gov/tests or by visiting michigan.gov/COVID-test to find a testing site. Quote, we encourage Michigan residents to make a COVID-19 plan, have masks and over-the-counter tests on hand, speak to your physician ahead of time to find out if you qualify for treatments, if you are infected, and make sure that you are up to date on vaccines, said Dr. Bagdasarian. She continued on by saying, quote, we recommend Michiganders test if they have symptoms or if they have been exposed to someone with COVID-19 and stay home if they are feeling ill. That article on our website, civiccentertv.com/coronavirus. They'll additionally making headlines over there today. From the Detroit News, a teen in the United Kingdom pretended to be the Oxford High School shooter in a threatening call, police say. Again, this is from the Detroit News. Schools in Oakland County, including Oxford, Cranbrook, Brandon, and Lake Orion, received calls threatening violence on April 8th. The suspect is a 16-year-old boy from the United Kingdom, the Oakland County Sheriff's Office said in a Thursday news release. In the call to Oxford High School, the suspect pretended to be the Oxford High School shooter, the former student on trial for the November 30th school shooting that killed 4 and injured 7. The suspect used a British accent, the sheriff's office said, and claimed that he was depressed and was going to, quote, shoot up the school and finish the job he started. The alleged shooter from November is currently in the Oakland County Jail without bond awaiting trial. The suspect was arrested in his UK home on April 13th and has since been released to his parents while the investigation continues, the release said. Quote, as I said at the time, we were going to be aggressive to hold perpetrators accountable, said Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard. Sheriff Bouchard continued on saying, quote, in conjunction with our law enforcement partners and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and police officials from the United Kingdom, that has in fact occurred and a suspect has been arrested. Let this serve as a message to anyone who would threaten our schools or any other institution in Oakland County. We will come for you, in closed quote. The teen is suspected of 37 other threatening calls made to businesses and schools nationwide, the release said. The investigation ultimately involved 16 different law enforcement agencies, including Homeland Security and police in the United Kingdom. Initially, law enforcement believed the calls were coming from Florida and New York. In the call to a Brandon school, the suspect allegedly said that there was a man in a black pickup truck in the parking lot with an AR-15 gun who was going to shoot up the school, the release said. The sheriff's office said that in multiple of the teens' calls, quote, juveniles could be heard laughing in the background. So, interesting that happens from the United Kingdom to the United States, but 37 different calls, including one to Oxford High School from that 16-year-old over in the United Kingdom. So that bloke's going away for a long time. Lastly, making headlines at civiccentertv.com/coronavirus from the Detroit News. A very warm weekend across lower Michigan is coming in, but my name is Tyler Keefe. I'm here to ruin your weekend. More cold is coming. A very warm and sunny weekend may skip Michiganders. It says Michiganians in this article. We've been over that ad nauseum on my mind. That's Larry and Maddie Live if you'd like to watch all those debates. A very warm weekend and sunny weekend may skip Michiganders' thoughts right past spring and over to summer, but next week will be providing more of a cold reality. Quote, above normal temperatures and dry weather is expected later in the day on Saturday through early Sunday, says the National Weather Service. Heat for the weekend is expected. Temperatures in Southeast Michigan are on track to top 80 degrees in some places, both Saturday and Sunday, with upper 70s likely from West Lakeshore communities to the Thumb region and Southeast areas. Saturday may start mostly cloudy with some rain, but skies will eventually clear early in the day through Sunday morning, but more rain may be moving in very soon. Then there's another cold front. Sunday night, however, things begin to change. Mostly cloudy skies will hold rain showers and possibly thunderstorms. Monday will be cloudy with some rain and chilly temperatures struggling to reach 50 degrees in many areas west and dropping in Southeast Michigan. And then it gets worse. Fun. Quote, turning much colder earlier next week as the system opens up and a northern stream infusion of cold air works through the backside, and close quote, the Weather Service says. Continuing on in this statement saying, quote, this is forecasted to occur in the Tuesday-Wednesday time frame over the central Great Lakes. Isolated scattered snow showers could also be possible during that time period, and closed quote. Temperatures throughout Thursday will be in the 40s and lower 50s across the region. Warmth, however, may be worth the wait. The chill just can't seem to leave Michigan alone. Longer-range forecasts predict May is likely to be cooler than normal, and Southeast Michigan could have above-average precipitation. All of those articles from today's edition of the Megacast on our website, civiccentertv.com/coronavirus, as well as those ever-helpful links to accurate, up-to-date information on COVID-19 from the CDC, the MDHHS, and the Oakland County Health Division. We have a great program ahead on this Friday edition of the Oakland County Megacast. Coming up next, we'll speak with Jason Charnas from JVS and Kadima about tips to help you ace your virtual one-way job interviews. And then at 10:40, we'll speak with Dr. Pam Clark, director of the women's program at the at Grace Centers of Hope. That's all up next on the Oakland County Megacast.
Who is struggling right now?
I am.
My son is.
Many are struggling with anxiety, depression, and substance use. Before it becomes a crisis, reach out to MyCal, the Michigan Crisis and Access Line, for free confidential support 24/7. Available in the Upper Peninsula and Oakland County. Just call or text 1-844-44-MyCal or chat online at michigan.gov/MyCal. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Motorcyclists are hard to see. To keep everyone safer, it's important to always look for them and know where most crashes occur. 84% of motorcycle and vehicle crashes happen on streets, not highways. And most crashes with motorcyclists occur when vehicle drivers are turning left. So before turning, especially to the left, make sure you look for motorcyclists. Then look again. It could save a life.
To Sofia and Gabriel. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love. These stitches and threads join us together. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
72.7% of high school students get less than the recommended 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. This can cause pain, obesity, and can very negatively affect your mental health. When you have a consistent 7 to 9 hours of sleep every day, you get sick less often, lose more weight, and have better relationships with those around you. For more information about the dangers of sleep deprivation, go to sleepfoundation.org. This message is brought to you by the WBHS Digital Media Arts Program and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Can I ask you a question? Why did you get your kids vaccinated?
It was hard for them to social distance, to be isolated from their friends.
I want them to get back to school and sports games. So as a pediatrician, I recommend the vaccine to everyone I know.
The boys lost a former teammate and classmate who was only 20 years old. It's been a devastating year.
We want to get back to normalcy. Our daughter is really looking forward to being with her friends, being a kid.
It's the Great Lakes water. And so what people do ends up in our waterways.
Flushable wipes are just evil. They should be thrown away. They're impossible to destroy, and they can cause significant problems.
One of the main things when you're cooking is to not dump fats, oils, and greases down your drains.
They stick to the sides of pipes. They stick to everything they come in contact with. Don't put it down the sink.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
Joining us now is the Director of Business and Career Services at JVS Human Services and Kadima. Jason Charnas joins us now on the Oakland County Megacast. Jason, thank you for being with us.
Absolutely, Tyler. Thanks very much for letting me talk and letting me share about these great programs we've got.
Yeah, so we've talked with JVS and Kadima in the past about a number of different career programs, career training opportunities, virtual webinars, and so on, and a number of different topics that are related to going into the job market at this particular time, at this unique time in our history. At this time, a lot of these job interviews, and pardon me as my earpiece falls out, during the pandemic, we've had a number of these interviews transition from being in person, as they've traditionally been, to being over a virtual setting, whether that be Zoom or Skype or FaceTime or Google or some other format. But there's also some unique changes to even virtual interviews, as well as some of them are only one way. Can you tell us about the unique opportunities and some of the drawbacks or strategical musts for somebody that's going into a job interview in a one-way virtual job interview?
Yeah, absolutely. So because of the pandemic over the last couple of years, many people have become really familiar with Zoom and video interviewing, video meetings, video conversations. There are many companies prior to the pandemic, and frankly ramped up even more, that are now utilizing one-way video interviewing as a piece of the interview process. It's being used as a screening tool. So traditionally, an HR representative or recruiter would have a short conversation with the job applicant, check off a couple boxes, make sure that they were mostly appropriate for the role or met those significant criteria, and then move them on to that next round. So what this does for a business, for a company, is it allows them to screen many applicants at the same time, regardless of their own internal staffing structure. They may have one HR person, they may have a whole team of people, but what they can do is send a link and screen people with the exact same questions, and they can review those responses when it works for them. And so for an applicant, the timing, the scheduling is great. You may have a job, you may have restrictions. You don't have to pigeonhole your schedule into what works for the company. Instead, you can log into your computer given a time parameter, and you can complete that interview process. It helps also for companies that utilize a lot of technology, or perhaps a job that is remote or partially remote. It also helps the company to assess what technological skills, computer skills people would have if that were to be a part of the process. The downside, the challenge for somebody who's applying for a job, talking to a computer one way and still showing personality, still showing that you can communicate with people, can be really challenging. Instead of getting body language, feedback, conversation, you have to do it on your own, and you have to be able to answer those questions on your own and to sound confident.
And so how do you suggest that people then prepare for these formats of interviews? Because I would imagine it's a little bit off-putting, or at the very least, it just seems very impersonal to be answering these questions as you would traditionally be answering them to another person, reading their body language, communicating with them, and instead communicating those answers in a limited time, or in some cases maybe unlimited, to a computer screen where you're staring at the screen or you're staring at your camera. There's nobody there, and you don't even know if anyone's ever going to hear it.
Absolutely. So there's two sort of different types of preparation. The first type is preparing for one of these interviews is the same as preparing for any video interview, right? So you want to make sure your location is appropriate. Excuse me. So quiet. Hopefully in a place where you can close the door if there are other people or pets around. You want to do your best to have good lighting, good camera angle, background to make it as appropriate as you can, right? You don't want to have dirty clothes, ideally not a bed or anything like that. Again, especially if you're talking about a job where you may be working remote fully, they may also, the company will be assessing whether you have the appropriate workspace to be able to do that. So, the other thing is, of course, when you're able to do whatever virtual video interview, one way or two way, by way of a computer versus using a phone. And if you're using a phone, which sometimes that's the only option, propped, right? Rested on something, tripod, if that's a thing in your house, but so that it's stable and not rocky and all over the place. So that's the generic, how do I prepare? How do I get ready for this virtual thing? The second part of it, the one way. So I don't know if I can stress this enough, but read the instructions. read the directions carefully, understand what you're being asked to do, understand the parameters, if there's a due date, and there typically is a specified time frame that it needs to be completed by. Meet the deadline. If you're serious about the job and the job search, that says quite a bit about you to the employer. I did it within the within the time frame that was required. Practice the best that you can. There are lots of resources, including JVS, where we can help you practice for your interview. You want to be personable. You want to be confident, but be authentic. And I know that doesn't always sound right? But having a conversation alone, you want to use a normal tone, pitch, cadence that you do when you're speaking. Don't overly exaggerate, but be confident, be authentic. Looking at the camera is important, right in the camera angle, like I said before. And then the other part is dress appropriately. So this is not a pajamas, jeans, and t-shirt likely type of an interview. Even if the environment is more casual, you want to be able to dress professionally for that job. The other thing that not all HR recruiters, not all companies, but many will say, if you have questions, if you're not sure, call us, email us, contact us. The HR field has changed, unemployment, lots of openings. They're willing to help. They want to help. They want to be successful themselves, which is by onboarding people, and they want to help people to be successful. So in terms of preparation, those are some of the really great ways that one could be prepared.
We're joined by Jason Charnas, the Director of Business and Career Services at JVS and Kadima, with us on the Oakland County Megacast. More information on the website, jvshumanservices.org. That's jvshumanservices.org. Can you talk to us about, there's a particular method called the STAR interview method. Can you talk about how that comes into play, especially in a one-way interview?
So the STAR method is a great method for preparing and answering questions. It's an acronym. S means situation. You want to set the scene. Talk about what the situation is. You're going to make sure you give detail. Detail is always really important. T in STAR is task. You want to talk about what your situation was. What your responsibility in that situation. A is action. What steps did you take and are results? What were the results that were achieved? So this STAR method is really beneficial for behavioral interview questions. Behavioral interview, things like, tell me about a time when. What do you do when? Have you ever? Give me an example. Describe a situation. So real life examples. So they want to know what that looked like. So it could be really specific, right? Tell me about a time when you didn't meet a client's expectations. And we can replace client for customer, client for coworker, client for supervisor, but share an example. And by the way, the examples that you're going to share or that somebody may choose to share are not always about success. Sometimes the example is it didn't work out at the end, the results, the R, didn't work out the way I had hoped. I didn't meet those clients' expectations. But the follow-up, the part of the conversation is, what did you do? Why didn't you? How would you change? What would you do next time? What did you learn? Businesses, employers, they want to know not only that you have the skills and experience to do a specific set of tasks or responsibilities, they also want to know that you have the ability to learn, to change, to grow within that job. We do not all bat 1,000, right? Sometimes the situation may make it so you can't be successul, which is fine, but to describe what that could look like. It could be, tell me about a time you achieved a goal that you thought was out of reach. There are a lot of situations, a lot of really specifics, but that STAR method specific to the behavioral interview questions is really a great way to answer this question.
Jason, for these one-way interviews that are being conducted virtually, are there any specific do's and don'ts within this format of interviewing for a job that applicants should be aware of before they go in? They may be a great interviewer. They may follow the directions to a T, but there should be other things that they are aware of, anything of that nature.
Tyler, that's a great question. So here's my little secret. I have never participated in a one-way interview. And I know we at JVS hear a lot of our clients asking about them and how can we help them? Because I don't know much about it, I went to a source. So we have a webinar scheduled for Wednesday, April 20th, tomorrow at noon on Zoom. And I've invited the professionals, people that are using one-way interviews as a screening tool. So I have two people. I have Sean Berry, who's the VP of Talent Acquisition at Allstate, and Candace Jareds, who is the team lead for campus recruiting, again, with Allstate. They use this system. And at this workshop, at this webinar that we have tomorrow, they're going to show screenshots. They're going to show the sort of behind the scenes of what they see, what a candidate would see, and they're going to talk about those successes. How do you answer those questions? How do you prepare? One of the things that many of and there's a lot of different formats and companies that are sort of third-party add-ons that businesses will use, but you don't typically have an unlimited amount of time to answer a question, right? And again, these aren't meant to be really, really in-depth. Typically, it's just screening. They want to make sure you have some of the basic check marks, skills, and experience to be moving forward. So when it comes to this and you read the question, you want to be able to answer the question that they're asking. And you want to answer the question in that specified time. Often, I understand that there is a countdown clock, some version of you're getting your time is wrapping up, and so to be able to answer and to follow that's the piece of it. And again, to the best that you're able to show that you have the skills and experience for the role that you've applied for, and to answer the questions clearly is a pretty significant part of that success.
We're joined by Jason Charnas from JVS and Kadima. He's their Director of Business and Career Services, joining us on the Oakland County Megacast. Jason, any other upcoming events with JVS and Kadima through their Career Services Department that we should be keeping an eye out for as we go forward? Obviously, you mentioned this upcoming webinar on virtual interviews, particularly these one-way interviews, but any other programs coming up that may be of interest to people?
Great question. So we have a lot of programs. We're always adding new onto our calendar. The best way to get up-to-date information about our programs, frankly, we have three different ways. They can follow JVS Detroit on LinkedIn, and there we post all of our events. Number two, JVS Detroit on Facebook. Again, we post all of our events. And then the third place, depending on where your comfort is and how you navigate the web, jvshumanservices.org. On our website, there is a spot that says upcoming events. And again, that's a place we're regularly posting. But in addition to workshops and webinars, many of our programs are free and open to the full community. So if somebody is contemplating a job search or a career switch, we have the staff that can work one-on-one with people and really then to individualize what those resources and what that assistance can look like for people preparing or actively in a job search.
And so, Jason, if people want to participate in the upcoming one-way interviews, webinar through JVS and Kadima, or any of these other programs, where can they go to get more information?
Great. So again, this one, they can go to our Facebook page or the website. We have a Zoom registration link for this event. This event does require registration so that you can get a copy of the Zoom link. People that are interested in registering or just want to talk, they can always call. 248-233-4230 is a great way to reach me directly. Employment help at jvshumanservices.org is a great way to email and ask some questions, set up a time to talk in our office, over the phone, on Zoom. We're meeting people where they're comfortable.
Jason, thank you so much for joining us.
Tyler, I appreciate the time. Thank you very much.
It's the Great Lakes water. And so what people do ends up in our waterways.
Flushable wipes are just evil. They should be thrown away. They're impossible to destroy, and they can cause significant problems.
One of the main things when you're cooking is to not dump fats, oils, and greases down your drains.
They stick to the sides of pipes, they stick to everything they come in contact with. Don't put it down the sink.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. When you don't know where to turn, let 211 be your guiding light.
How can I help you?
Our guides are ready to connect you with the help you need. For help with food, healthcare, mental health, and other resources. Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected, get help.
We may come from different organizations,
but we work together to protect the Huron River for everyone.
Neighborhood storm drains carry water directly to local creeks and streams. No filters, no treatment.
Storm drains also help reduce street flooding when it rains.
So clearing storm drains and the areas nearby of trash and leaves helps keep them for rain only.
It is easy to do your part by adopting a storm drain.
Find a storm drain, check it, and clear it every month.
So keep storm drains for rain only.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
If you are struggling to afford your internet bills during the pandemic, there's a temporary government program that may be able to help. It's called the Emergency Broadband Benefit, and it provides up to a $50 monthly discount on your broadband bill to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll, at fcc.gov/broadbandbenefit or call toll-free at 833-511-0311.
A public service announcement from 89.3 Lakes FM.
We as Michiganders feel connected to this resource in a way that I think is really powerful.
Conservation starts with a caring, committed community.
For me, it's peaceful to have a relationship with the river.
Every single one of us has a role to make sure that those waterways stay safe and healthy, being careful about what goes down the storm drain.
Just even eliminating some of your single-use plastic makes a difference.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
Did you know that nearly 3.31 million Americans don't get their annual checkup? Going to the doctor regularly is extremely important and is a crucial factor in maintaining good health. Make sure you are visiting your local doctor often and telling them about any health concerns you have. For more information, contact your local healthcare provider. This message is brought to you by WBHS Digital Media Arts Program and 89.3 Lakes FM.
People are getting out to walk and bike in higher numbers. More vulnerable road users and higher speed traffic can be a dangerous combination. Crash severity has increased, so if you're driving, be sure to slow down and look for people. There's no need to speed. If you're biking, ride with traffic. If you're walking, avoid stepping into the road if possible. If you have to walk in the street, walk facing traffic. Learn more at walkbikedrivesafe.org.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. When you don't know where to turn, let 211 be your guiding light.
How can I help you?
Our guides are ready to connect you with the help you need. For help with food, healthcare, mental health, and other resources. Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected, get help.
parents do a lot of worrying. Get your kids caught up on childhood vaccines to protect them from these 14 preventable diseases, and you'll have 14 fewer things to worry about. Vaccines are safe and effective and save lives. So let's get caught up on vaccines and worry about something else. Get the facts at ivaccinate.org.
We may come from different organizations,
but we work together to protect the Huron River for everyone.
Most of the pollution that goes into our rivers is carried by rainwater that flows off of roads, parking lots, and rooftops.
The leaves and bark of a single tree can retain a surprising amount of rainwater. Depending on its size and species, it could be 100 gallons or more.
It is estimated that an urban forest can reduce annual runoff by up to 7%.
Here's one thing that we know can help keep our water clean.
Plant a tree.
Plant a tree.
Plant a tree.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
Joining us now from Grace Centers of Hope in Pontiac, Michigan is their Women's Program Director, Dr. Pam Clark. Dr. Clark, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate having you on. So first off, for those that are unfamiliar with Grace Centers of Hope, can you give us a little bit of a background on this organization and the ways that it benefits the local community?
Right, Tyler. Grace Centers of Hope is a rehab homeless shelter. We have a program for women, children, and kids, men also. They come into our program. They're usually addicted to drugs. They've been abused. They've been neglected. And we're seeing more and more women that have been trafficked by the situation that's happened to them. And they come in for a year and work on their issues. They have a case manager, counselor. Their children can come in with them. We have a state-of-the-art daycare. They have classes on the issues that, that they're dealing with. And also this case manager will help them, deal with the courts and whatever that's happened along the way. Then we also have a 2-year aftercare program where they can live in one of our 58 houses and they pay a small amount for rent and they work and become productive citizens.
And so how do people come to Grace Centers of Hope? Is this something where they voluntarily enter? Is it court ordered? Is it some other means that they come through?
Most people come because they want to. Getting clean from alcohol, drugs is difficult. So if your mother wants you to, or your uncle, that usually doesn't work. But when you decide you actually want to change your mindset and get off of drugs or alcohol, that usually works at Grace Centers. We have a few that are court ordered, but probably 85% have come on their own.
We're joined by the Women's Program Director at Grace Centers of Hope, Dr. Pam Clark, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. Dr. Clark, give us a little bit of information on your background and how you got involved with Grace Centers of Hope.
Well, I probably didn't go to college to be here, but my husband was put on the board and he said, I had a small private practice at that time, and he said, come out here and look at this. I don't have anything for women. I just have for men. So I came out and I just fell in love. I mean, these are precious women that have been abused and neglected, and they just grabbed my heart. I love them, and just to see the change, the transformations. We see miracles here every day, and women that came in and they're 90 pounds, they've been using heroin for 20 years, and then God gets a hold of them and they change their life. And it's really a mindset. We call it change from the inside out. They begin to deal with the deep issues, and then they begin to look different on the outside. And it's amazing what they can accomplish.
We're joined by Dr. Pam Clark, the Women's Program Director at Grace Centers of Hope, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. You mentioned earlier that in discussing with your husband some of the programs at Grace Centers of Hope while he was on the board of the organization, that he had said that we have a lot for men, but we don't have any women's programs. And so you, as the Women's Program Director, can you tell us about the Women's Program, how it got started, and what that entails at this moment in time at Grace Centers of Hope?
It's amazing. In fact, Kyle, we just put in another building because we were turning away so many women. We are the only program in Southeast Michigan that rehabs women and children together. We also have a program for men, but that women can come in and bring their children, and we have a state-of-the-art daycare, and we have counselors for their children. So not only are they getting help, but these children have been taken with these parents along with during their drug use, which creates all kinds of problems and abuse with the children. A lot of the children were taken away from their parents at one point in time. And Grace Centers of Hope, the women's program, goes to court with them. When they begin to turn their life around, they begin to have visits, and, that we integrate these families back together. I mean, that's one of the things we really believe in is community. Like, God created family. In fact, what's happening in the United States is the deterioration of families. So we're trying to put families back together and unite these and teach these women how to be mothers and how to deal with their children, at the ages that they return to them.
And so how different is it to put programs together specifically for women as opposed to more general programs for the entire population of those that are at Grace Centers of Hope for their 1-year program or in their recovery phase program for 2 years?
We did some stats. That's a good question. We did some stats quite a few years ago, and more women, about 80% more women, stayed in the program longer when they had their children with them. That fact that I have 2 kids here and they need for me to stay here and finish the program and be accountable and learn to be balanced and deal with my issues and learn how to be a good mom. So women that are single, will leave a lot easier than a mom that has 3 children with her.
We're joined by Dr. Pam Clark, the Women's Program Director at Grace Centers of Hope, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. Dr. Clark, coming up on Saturday, April 23rd, that's a week from Saturday, it's the 24th annual Grace Centers of Hope Women Helping Women Luncheon and Fashion Show. Can you tell us about the event and also how this event helps to support the women's program through Grace Centers of Hope?
We are so excited. This is the 24th annual Women Helping Women Fashion Show and Luncheon, and it's at the gorgeous Royal Park Hotel, and the meal is phenomenal. And it's especially after 2 years of being in lockdown, it's good that women can get out and get together and dress up and have an elegant meal. And it's really helps the Grace Centers of Hope because it raises the money that we can continue supporting these women and children for another year. And there, some of the stats that I was reading the other day, that this heroin epidemic, this, is like deteriorating the next generation. In fact, we're having more deaths in the United States than we are births because of the pandemic and drug abuse, because women and kids and men are ODing. Also, last year was the highest rate of children, 14 to 18 deaths because of overdose. So it is an epidemic here in our country, here in Michigan. And so being able to turn that around, turn women around, thousands of women get their life back. So the fashion show is just an amazing event, and it's just a fun way to do it. I mean, women get to dress up and have a wonderful meal and see the lives change. We have videos, and we have women with their testimonies of where they came from and where they're going. They've been rescued and turned around.
We're joined by Dr. Pam Clark, Women's Program Director at Grace Centers of Hope, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. More information on the website at gracecentersofhope.org. That's gracecentersofhope.org. Go to the top of their page. There is a special segment. There's a section there called Special Events, and just one drop down from that is the fashion show tickets and fashion show information, so you can learn more about their Women Helping Women Luncheon and Fashion Show. That is Saturday, April 23rd from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. And if you'd like to learn more about the event as well. And ask any questions, you can contact our special events coordinator, April Melick, at amelik@gracecentersofhope.org. That's AMELIK at gracecentersofhope.org. Dr. Clark, can you talk about some of the fashion designers and retailers who will be participating in this special event?
We are so excited that Somerset Collection is going to partner with us, and some of the retailers, and Fortain is going to be, we're going to start with them. In fact, this afternoon, I'm taking 8 of our models to Somerset, and they will get to try on beautiful outfits. And we call this, when they're at Grace Centers, we call it change from the inside out. But they get to start today with the outside and, be pampered. They get their hair done, they get their makeup done, and it's just so rewarding to see them in that light. And we just want to thank again Somerset Collection for being involved with us.
We're joined by Dr. Pam Clark, the director of the Women's Program at Grace Centers of Hope. More information on the Women's Program, as well as the Women Helping Women luncheon and fashion show event happening on April 23rd from 10 to 2 p.m. on gracecentersofhope.org. That's gracecentersofhope.org. There was a very special moment at every fashion show. That is the Grace Centers of Hope women models who are proud to strut down the runway right alongside professional models as well. Can you talk about that relationship in this event and how that helps to make this a special moment, but also a moment of partnership out in the community as well?
Right. The professional models are unbelievable. And for our girls to be up there on the stage with these gorgeous outfits, and the models will help them get dressed and show them how to walk, and it's just amazing transformation for these girls. It's a once in a lifetime. Who gets to A, go to the Royal Park, and B, wear the clothes from Somerset and walk on the runway with professional models that kind of give you tips. And these professional models are so good to my girls. They want to hear their stories, and professional models have stories also. And also our kids at Grace Centers, we have 6 children that will be modeling clothes from Somerset Collection for them to see them walk down. It's the sweetest thing ever. These little kids, whatever they do is cute. I mean, we've had them take the mic and talk, and we've had them run, and we've had them really strut their stuff. It's amazing, and a one-time life experience for them also.
We're joined by Dr. Pam Clark, Women's Program Director at Grace Centers of Hope, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. More information on the Women's Program, on Grace Centers of Hope, and on the Women Helping Women luncheon and fashion show fundraiser event on their website, gracecentersofhope.org. Dr. Clark, if people are interested in attending the event or helping out as a sponsor, where can they get more information or purchase tickets to this event?
We do have some tickets left, which is amazing. They can go to www.gracecentersofhope.org, or they can call 248-334-2187, and they can purchase a ticket that way.
More information on their website, gracecentersofhope.org, where you can purchase tickets by going to their special events page and clicking on Fashion Show Tickets at the top of their website, or as Dr. Clark said, by calling the Grace Centers of Hope phone number at 248-334-2187. Specifically, it's 248-334-2187 for more information. Dr. Clark, anything else about the Women's Program that we haven't spoken about today that would be interesting or important for our audience to know, or anything else that you'd like to discuss today?
These women that are going to be the models are so excited. And I just, people that come to the fashion show, they are the reason that Grace Centers of Hope Women's Program stays open. And what amazing blessing that is, that you can be a part of changing another woman's life. That's why we call it Women Helping Women.
Dr. Clark, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
One of the things you can look for in your friends is a change in behavior. These can be big changes, they can be small changes in mood, physical appearance. They may be sleeping less or sleeping more, drinking more, or their eating patterns may be different.
One big change that can be pretty obvious is change in motivation. Do they no longer want to play basketball? Do they no longer want to play video games?
Now that we're spending more time online and in virtual settings, it's really important to pay attention to the language that your friend is using and the words they're using to communicate.
So when we text our friends, are they taking longer amounts of time to respond? Are they not responding at all? You don't have to be an expert to try to recognize these signs. The second that you feel it in your gut and that you're concerned, that's the second to have the conversation and open the door to what might be going on.
Whatever gets you talking.
Today, it is easier than ever to join Michigan's Organ Donor Registry and help build a bridge of hope for organ, tissue, and eye donation. Just one person can potentially save or help improve the lives of up to 75 people. By joining, your legacy could be the gift of life. Sign up today at michigan.gov/SOS or at any of the more than 145 Secretary of State self-service stations located across Michigan. Be part of Michigan's Bridge of Hope by adding your name to the Organ Donor Registry.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. When you don't know where to turn, let 211 be your guiding light.
How can I help you?
Our guides are ready to connect you with the help you need. For help with food, healthcare, mental health, and other resources. Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected, get help.
If you are struggling to afford your internet bills during the pandemic, there's a temporary government program that may be able to help. It's called the Emergency Broadband Benefit, and it provides up to a $50 monthly discount on your broadband bill to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll, at fcc.gov/broadbandbenefit or call toll-free at 833-511-0311.
A public service announcement from 89.3 Lakes FM.
Whether you're the city,
the county,
or the Huron River Watershed Council,
we work together to protect water resources for everyone.
Most of the pollution entering our rivers is carried by rainwater that runs off roads, parking lots, and rooftops.
A rain garden helps catch stormwater runoff.
Rain gardens and their plants help dirty runoff soak into the ground.
You can do your part to help keep our water clean.
Learn about rain gardens and native plants.
So consider a rain garden in your home landscaping.
Catch the runoff with a rain garden.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
I couldn't breathe at all. There was lots of talk about putting me on a ventilator. I thought I was gonna die. I was 39 weeks pregnant and had a scheduled C-section. During that time, I got COVID and was hospitalized for a month. I had a blood clot in my lungs. It caused me to go into right-sided heart failure. I was really scared. I kept texting my husband and my mom, telling them how scared I was, and I was worried that he was gonna grow up without a mom. And then I was worried if, when I did get home, that he wouldn't know who I was. You know, being 27 and a mom and a wife and having that all almost taken away from me. It's scary, and if a vaccine can prevent that from happening, why not? Get your vaccine. I don't want this to happen to anybody else.
A message from the staff of Michigan's Crime Victim Compensation Program.
Anyone can be a victim of crime
and suffer lasting trauma, physically, emotionally, and financially.
But you are not alone.
If you're struggling financially due to a crime,
we're here
for you. Find out if you qualify for crime victim compensation.
Call 877-251-7373 or visit michigan.gov/crime-victim.
A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Victim Services.
If you are struggling to afford your internet bills during the pandemic, there's a temporary government program that may be able to help. It's called the Emergency Broadband Benefit, and it provides up to a $50 monthly discount on your broadband bill to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll, at fcc.gov/broadbandbenefit or call toll-free at 833-511-0311.
A public service announcement from 89.3 Lakes FM.
You see certain things get reincarnated in your children. My daughter is very much inspired by my wife's artistic pursuits. So my daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around, and I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself, and me never just wanting to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike, and you didn't. I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
Whether you're the city,
the county,
or the Huron River Watershed Council.
As partners working together to protect our water resources, we agree.
Pet waste is the source of harmful bacteria in the Huron River.
When it's left on the ground, it can wash into the storm drains.
These lead directly to our streams. No filters, no treatment.
Here's one thing we know that can help keep our water clean.
Pick up pet waste and trash it.
Pick up pet waste and trash it.
So pick up pet waste and trash it.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
Welcome to the Michigan Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe. You're listening on your radio homes for the program 89.3 WBLD Orchard Lake and 88.1 WBFH Bloomfield Hills. Learn more about the program at civiccentertv.com/megacast, where you'll find more information on our entire network of stations, including My Michigan TV. Joining us now is Angela Beckman and Tonya Adair from the United Way for Southeastern Michigan. Angela, Tonya, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Good to have you both with us today. So we'll start with you, Angela. Can you first tell us a little bit about your background and how you got involved with the United Way?
Yeah, so I am a licensed social worker by trade. I'm born and raised in Southeastern Michigan, and I couldn't think of a better way to get involved in the community than working for United Way and getting the opportunity to work with our community partners, our nonprofit partners, and individuals and corporations in the area to really volunteer and get involved in making a difference in our area.
And Tonya, same question for you. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you got involved with the organization.
Absolutely. I am a lifelong educator. I spent 25 years in the education arena as a teacher. Starting off as a teacher, I was a high school principal and then chief academic officer for a district out of town, and worked closely with United Way there on many projects. So being able to come to Michigan and serve Southeastern Michigan through United Way, working with partners and school districts and families and providing the necessary resources to ensure families are able to thrive was really important to me. So I'm glad to be here. I've been here since 2018.
Angela, going back to you, this April 2022 is the Global Volunteer Month. This week, we're just about to wrap up tomorrow, the National Volunteer Week. Can you tell us about both of those, National Week and the Global Month of Service, and how the United Way of Southeastern Michigan is tapping into that recognition and encouraging volunteerism in Southeastern Michigan?
Yeah, so we are really excited. April is our global month of service, and Michigan just highlighted that as well for the first time this year. We are, as you mentioned, wrapping up National Volunteer Week, which is taking place, started April 17th through the 23rd. And so it really is our community really year round is involved, but a National Volunteer Week allows us to really highlight volunteerism, both for our community partners and the needs that are there, as well as the opportunity for individuals to get involved and recognize those who've been getting involved year round. So this week we've had a wide variety of activities taking place, from things you could do from home, like packing a kit, or collecting items with your neighbors and friends to donate to a local nonprofit, or going in, helping to serve food at one of our local nonprofits, or packing and delivering food as well. We also have a very exciting this time, for the first time this year, working on highlighting and recognizing our volunteers. So we have our volunteer honor roll. So that is also up this week as well. So we do this year round. So this is a great opportunity for us to highlight what those people in our community are doing year round, but really recognizing it during April.
And Angela, just how important is the work of these volunteers to our community organizations like the United Way, but also other organizations that United Way of Southeastern Michigan may partner with or may be adjacently involved with?
Yeah, so volunteers, and as we always say, the time, talents, and treasures that they bring to an organization are crucial to help them achieve things that they might not be able to, things like providing items or services that they might not be able to do because of budgets. And one of the things that we've learned, especially through this pandemic and through the last couple of years, is that we really need to depend on our community and neighbors to help us get through a wide variety of things. And so when you think about helping, it isn't just about our nonprofits and our other organizations, but it's just reaching out to your neighbors and supporting them in ways that's something you can provide them through your times, talents, and treasures that they may need. So everything from just spending time with them, as well as giving of items, or supporting painting and beautifying and getting out in the community. You know, it's supposed to be getting warmer here in Michigan. And so there's a lot of opportunities to get out and really come together and beautify the neighborhoods.
We're joined by Angela Beckman, the Senior Director of Engagement at the United Way for Southeastern Michigan on the Michigan Megacast. We're also joined by Tonya Adair, the Chief People, Equity, and Engagement Officer for the United Way of Southeastern Michigan. And so, Tonya, the United Way works with a variety of different groups in Southeastern Michigan, different organizations, certainly different individuals and volunteers that work for these organizations, with these organizations, or in partnership with these organizations. Can you talk about the United Way's focus on engaging the community and with a diverse group of different people, different organizations, and the impact that they can have on Southeastern Michigan?
Absolutely. United Way has served Southeastern Michigan for more than 100 years through all types of crisis situations, large and small. Our mission really is to mobilize the caring power of Detroit and Southeastern Michigan to improve communities and individuals' lives in measurable and lasting ways. We partner with the community-based organizations, providing resources to support children and families that help them to meet their basic needs. We also provide resources to partner agencies and schools to help build a solid safety net for children and families, particularly for those who may be struggling to make ends meet. We live by our motto of give, advocate, and volunteer, mobilizing individuals, corporate organizations, and community partners to provide that safety net to support those in need. Volunteering itself helps everyone. Those who volunteer feel a sense of purpose. When you can come together with friends and coworkers and groups to volunteer, you build that camaraderie while living out a meaningful opportunity to help someone in need. And so we've been doing this work and working with our partners on the ground, and really is just fulfilling a purpose for so many and helping those that are in need. And it's so important, especially now coming through COVID, to make sure that we are helping to rebuild and build back better, as it's explained, all of the resources that's needed for those that are struggling.
And let's continue on that, Tonya, as we are beginning to slowly come out of the pandemic. It seems things are slowing down, case numbers are slowing down, society's kind of reopening and preparing itself for what life after COVID-19 or after the pandemic of COVID-19 at least sounds like. And so as you're working with these organizations, as the United Way for Southeastern Michigan is partnering with these organizations and really working to rebuild those community ties, talk to us about just how important it is to strengthen community engagement in these organizations and just general community engagement, especially coming out of a pandemic.
Absolutely. especially coming out of a pandemic, is right, because we struggled through it and we weren't able to have, as many people that could be in person and volunteer, but we came up with so many other ways that people can volunteer that's not in person, but we also offer in-person opportunities now. But particularly, as I said before, having that sense of purpose, it makes everyone be able to feel like I'm able to help build my community in so many ways. Everyone may not have the dollars to be able to just give towards something that people in need, but you can volunteer. Everyone can volunteer. Everyone can lean in a certain way, whether it's virtual kit making, do-it-yourself kits, that we provide an opportunity for, and be able to drop it off at a location, or coming together with your colleagues or friends and family to do a book drive, even to be able to support the education arena and helping kids have books in their hands, to be able to go to Gleaners and do food packing, because there's so much need within our community, within Southeastern Michigan, and so many opportunities for people to weigh in to support those needs. It's important for people to feel like that I'm able to give back in some way.
We're joined by Tonya Adair, Chief People Equity and Engagement Officer for the United Way for Southeastern Michigan. Joining us on the Michigan Megacast, also with us, is Angela Beckman, the Senior Director of Engagement for the United Way for Southeastern Michigan. And so, Angela, as we talk about community engagement and we talk about getting back into society and reacclimating different elements of our society, of our communities in Southeastern Michigan in order to strengthen those communities, especially coming out of several years of division, of isolation. What are some volunteer opportunities that are available? If people want to get back involved in the community, want to make a positive impact, especially during the global month of volunteerism on the worldwide level, and even as we wrap up this week for National Volunteer Week here domestically, what are some opportunities available in Southeastern Michigan if people would like to volunteer and help their community?
Yeah, definitely. We have our online volunteer portal, so you can go to unitedwaysem.org, click on Get Involved Volunteer, and we have a wide variety, as Tonya mentioned, everything from in-person opportunities where you can get out into the community, from opportunities to do virtual volunteerism, skill-based volunteerism, donation drives, really is a wide variety of opportunities. That's also, our community partners can go there as well. So not only if our community wants to volunteer, but you're in need of having volunteers at your organization, or you want to provide opportunities for people to come out and support your nonprofit or community organization, you can go there as well. We are also excited as we head into the summer, looking at opportunities to support, as Tonya mentioned, book drives, as well as back to school opportunities. So you'll see a lot of those as well as we think about our little free library program, or back to school and backpacks. So those are the types of opportunities that you can find on our website. And there's a wide variety of ways to get involved. So we definitely encourage that for the first stop shop, they say, for finding opportunities and connecting to get involved in your neighborhood.
And it's also a great resource for finding ways to get involved in your neighborhood, not necessarily in volunteer ways, but just in engaging with the community, getting back into community events that may have a positive impact on the region of Southeastern Michigan or on your specific community. So so Tonya, going back to you, what are some upcoming events that if people are interested in getting back out in the community and they would like to join their friends, their family, their neighbors in Southeastern Michigan, maybe even meet some of these people that they haven't met before because they've been here isolated for a few years with COVID-19 going on? What are some events that are coming up in Southeastern Michigan?
Yeah, as Angela mentioned, there are several that are coming up. One of them is us being able to come together and build little free libraries in communities where books are scarce. That's one opportunity, but you can find so many more on our website, www.unitedwaysem.org, and navigate toward the volunteer section. There are so many different opportunities that will be coming up. You can get together with friends and, as I mentioned before, do a food packing kit. We also will have this summer a backpack kit, packing backpacks for back to school. That will be coming up as well. But there are others that will happen throughout the summer that we want to make sure that you're going to that website and volunteering, signing up to volunteer to be a part of those events.
And Angela, if people want to find more opportunities throughout the year to volunteer in their community, to volunteer in Southeastern Michigan with organizations partnering with the United Way, how can they go about doing that?
Yep, they can go to unitedwaysem.org. They can sign up on our volunteer portal so they can see what they're interested in. You also have the opportunity to kind of create a profile. So as new things get added that meet your interests, we definitely encourage folks to go there. As well as looking at our website, we have our 21-day equity challenge coming up. So that'll be taking place on May 20th through June 17th. And Tonya can speak a little bit more on that as well, but we're really excited about that opportunity. So not only to volunteer, but to get involved and really to learn together as a community as we continue to navigate the world that continues to change.
Yeah, and Tonya, before we let the two of you go today, I would like to give you an opportunity, as Angela said, to talk about the Equity Challenge 2022. It is a 21-day challenge set for May 20th through June 17th. You can sign up for this at United Way SEM, or United Way for Southeastern Michigan, unitedwaysem.org. Tonya, can you tell us about Equity Challenge 2022?
Absolutely. It's 21 days of learning. Everyone is in a different place in their equity journey, and we want to make sure that we are addressing all of those places and spaces where people are. So people can sign up to be a part of the 21-day Equity Challenge. You'll get a daily email providing information just on the inequities that have occurred over time throughout the country, as well as right here in Southeastern Michigan. And then there's a opportunity for Friday roundtable discussions. So each Friday, after you've gone through the emails and read the articles and watched the videos, there's an opportunity to come together on Friday to talk about what you've experienced with many others across the community. Last year, we had more than 5,000 people sign up for the challenge, and each one of those Friday sessions were packed with more than 200 individuals just really engaging in what we've learned, and then making commitments within ourselves to make some changes and to learn more and offer our support and help throughout the community to make sure that we're addressing inequities in a way that is impactful and meaningful to the community. So I'm excited about the 21-day Equity Challenge. As Angela mentioned, it's going to be an amazing experience.
You can learn more information on unitedwaysem.org. If you go there right now, you'll be able, right away when you get there, a pop-up will appear for the 21-day Equity Challenge. It allows you to sign up and learn more information. And then you can keep up to date on everything happening with the United Way for Southeastern Michigan at unitedwaysem.org. Tonya, Angela, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome. We're going to take a quick break here on the Michigan Megacast. We'll come back with more great programming all about the Great Lakes State on our variety of TV, radio, and other media outlets. This is the Michigan Megacast.
72.7% of high school students get less than the recommended 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. This can cause pain, obesity, and can very negatively affect your mental health. When you have a consistent 7 to 9 hours of sleep every day, you get sick less often, lose more weight, and have better relationships with those around you. For more information about the dangers of sleep deprivation, go to sleepfoundation.org. This message is brought to you by the WBHS Digital Media Arts Program and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Can I ask you a question? Why did you get your kids vaccinated?
It was hard for them to social distance, to be isolated from their friends.
I want them to get back to school and sports games. So as a pediatrician, I recommend the vaccine to everyone I know.
The boys lost a former teammate and classmate who was only 20 years old. It's been a devastating year.
We want to get back to normalcy. Our daughter is really looking forward to being with her friends, being a kid.
It's the Great Lakes water. And so what people do ends up in our waterways.
Flushable wipes are just evil. They should be thrown away. They're impossible to destroy, and they can cause significant problems.
One of the main things when you're cooking is to not dump fats, oils, and greases down your drains.
They stick to the sides of pipes. They stick to everything they come in contact with. Don't put it down the sink.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
The NBA regular season is over. The playoffs are in full swing once again. The Detroit Pistons are on the outside looking in. They will be in the draft lottery again and have a high chance of receiving either a top 3 pick or a top 4 pick and have the third highest chance of receiving the number 1 overall pick, which would be for the second consecutive year. To talk about the Pistons offseason and where they may be going in the 2022-2023 season, we're pleased to be joined once again by the Pistons beat writer with MLive Media Group, Lauren Williams, on the Michigan Megacast. Lauren, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Tyler.
Appreciate having you on. So the Pistons finish up their 2021-2022 season with a record of 23-59, 14th place in the Eastern Conference, and the third worst record in the NBA. They will have a very high chance at the number 1 overall pick for the second consecutive year. This year, their highest projections are in the 3 to 4 range, but they could fall as low as about 7th in the draft lottery. Should that happen. Regardless, they're going to end up with a high lottery pick. They had a lot of cap space this offseason. So going into the offseason, in your conversations with Dwayne Casey, in your conversations with GM Troy Weaver, and others in the management of the Detroit Pistons, what are their overall goals going into this offseason? What's kind of framing their reference for where this team needs to go in the future?
I think one of the things that really has stuck out to me in talking with Troy Weaver is that he always thinks about the person before the player and making sure that he's finding the right group of people who are going to fit what the Pistons' missions are. I mean, when we spoke to him at his end of season availability last week, he mentioned that, yes, while they're going to be aggressive in, their pursuit of the right free agents, at the end of the day, they want somebody who's going to fit the core values of what the Pistons are trying to do. And that's someone who's a hard worker, someone who's going to dive for loose balls, someone who's going to really put it all out there, just like the group of players that they have had this season. But obviously they want to take it to the next level, so the player has to be talented.
It can be really tough for a team to lose as many games as the Pistons did, almost 60 games, 59 losses this season, to be in many of those games, similar to last season, where they're in many of those games, they're competitive, and they're just coming up short, to miss the playoffs once again. So from the player's perspective, especially with the team being relatively young, not a lot of guys that have been on the roster for a very long time, what are their thoughts coming out of this season and looking forward to the future?
I think they all kind of, except for Cade, I think, they all kind of understood what this year was about. I know Cade mentioned earlier in the season that he wanted to get the team to the playoffs. And, he quickly learned that winning in the NBA is a lot harder than it might have been at the college level or the AAU level or high school or anything like that. So I think a lot of them, want to pick up on the momentum that they kind of built toward the end of the year. They really want to take that kind of winning habits that they started to lock in on toward the end of the season and take it with them into the off season as well as into the future. I really do get the sense that a lot of them are very optimistic about what next year will hold for them. A lot of them are really interested in really kind of stepping up their off season programs, playing pickup basketball, as Killian Hayes mentioned, and kind of playing a little bit more freely to kind of get locked into the mission that they're trying to do.
We're joined by Lauren Williams, beat writer for the Detroit Pistons with MLive Media Group, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. We mentioned Cade Cunningham, first overall pick in last year's NBA draft. This season for the Pistons, 17 points, about 5-6 assists, shooting 31% from the field, and very, very high impact player for the Pistons in just 64 games played. Of course, he had those early season injury issues, and of course the Pistons are not in the playoffs, not even in the play-in, similar to a couple of other players that were in contention or very close to that, and Scotty Barnes and Evan Mobley, the other two finalists for the Rookie of the Year. In comparison, 15 points, about 8 rebounds, and 4 assists for Scotty Barnes of the Toronto Raptors, and for Evan Mobley of the Cleveland Cavaliers. 15 points for him on the year, 8.3 rebounds, and about 3 assists and 2 blocks for Evan Mobley, who is the early favorite at this moment in time to win the Rookie of the Year. And it's been an interesting debate that's popped up in NBA circles and sports circles regarding the Rookie of the Year. You think about Cade Cunningham's play, especially late in the season. High-impact player, numbers that you don't typically see from veteran players that late in the season, especially on a team like the Pistons in this year, versus guys like Evan Mobley, who obviously had high impact on that team. They were in contention for the playoffs. They were in the play-in. Scotty Barnes also helped the Raptors make a big jump this year in their quick rebuild and retooling. So in your opinion, should the team's success play a major role in whether or not a player wins Rookie of the Year, whether or not a player wins MVP, Most Improved Player, or any of these other awards? Or should it be based more solely on the performance of that individual player for that individual role it's being awarded for?
In my opinion, if you're awarding individual season awards, it really should come down to what the individual player did. I understand why a lot of people like to take a holistic approach to how they argue why a certain player should win a certain award. But if you're looking at the criteria of who was the best rookie, or who was the most improved player, or who was the defensive player of the year, you really should be looking at the individual and not necessarily the team's record or standing, or whether they had an impact on getting their team to the playoffs. I think if you limit yourself to just looking at players who get their teams to the playoffs, you're going to eliminate a lot of other players from the field. So I really do think it should come down to individual performance. But again, I understand the argument of, looking at a team's record.
And you think about it too from the perspective of impact, especially for players that are in the MVP race and the Rookie of the Year race, Most Improved Player. I personally think of it as, what would this team be like without this player? If you have an MVP candidate, how successful would this team be without the MVP for the Rookie of the Year? I think about the Pistons, the Raptors, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Where would they be without the finalists for Rookie of the Year? The Toronto Raptors probably would be in a similar spot, maybe 5-10 losses more than what they did have without a guy like Scottie Barnes. That's a significant impact. That should play a role in this. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, they are on the cusp of a playoff spot. They're in the play-in game. They're probably late lottery without Evan Mobley, especially considering the play of Darius Garland this season, the resurgence of Kevin Love and his new role as a sixth man. Played a big role, and they had a very successful season with and without Evan Mobley on the floor. Then you look at the Detroit Pistons and the impact that Cade Cunningham had. I don't think they get 23 wins. I don't think they get close to that without Cade Cunningham, especially those late season games where teams are really picking it up heading toward the playoffs. I think that should be the main factor in especially the Rookie of the Year, which is, I would say, the least of the impactful metrics in the award season for impact of a player on a team. Rookie of the Year is one of those where you really can just look at the bare gameplay of an individual player, and obviously I have some bias here. I think Cade Cunningham should win that award. I'm a Detroit Pistons fan. That's nothing to discount Evan Mobley or Scottie Barnes, but if you look at the team impact, I don't think any one of those three players made a bigger impact on their team this year, or it's going to make a bigger impact on their team in the years to come than Cade Cunningham.
And I think when you think about it too, it's, Evan Mobley had 2 All-Stars that surrounded him, several former All-Stars that surrounded him. Same with Scottie Barnes. He had a couple of All-Stars that, were around him, whereas Cade Cunningham was shouldering a lot of the team leading, or the leadership role that this team needed. And that's not to discount the leadership qualities that Scottie Barnes and Evan Mobley have, but when you have someone who is the floor general, who impacts the offense on so many different levels, you can look at his plus minus when he's off the floor versus on the floor, and it's a huge difference. So I think that should play a huge role into why he should win the Rookie of the Year. And again, I'm a little bit biased since I cover the team and I watch him almost every single night. But I think that is an important factor. I believe there were 3-19 when he wasn't playing, and then they were 17 and I can't remember the total number off the top of my head right this second, but he played a major role. So I think that should count for a lot more, the leadership qualities that he possessed and the fact that he was a connector with so many different parts of that lineup. I think that should play a role.
We're joined by Lauren Williams, beat writer for the Detroit Pistons with MLive. You can read her articles on mlive.com/Pistons as you follow the Pistons in this 2022 offseason. The draft lottery will play a big impact on that offseason. Free agency, with the amount of cap space they have, will play a big role. You can view that full interview I had with Lauren Williams from MLive.com, talking all about the very interesting offseason coming up for the Detroit Pistons on our website, civiccentertv.com/Megacast. Well, we have a surprise here on the Megacast for you. Out in the field is our very own Dave Scott, the president and CEO of Michigan Digital and My Michigan TV, and he is out in the community. I don't know where you are, Dave. Tell us where you are and what we're doing. I see you're wearing a Matthew Stafford jersey.
I am. How you doing, Tyler?
I'm doing all right. How are you guys today?
Good. This is my friend Rosie from the Mitch Album radio show and the whole Mitch Album project. Hey, Rosie, how you doing?
I'm good, Dave. How are you?
Good. So, Tyler, we are here at the Say Play Center on Van Dyke and 6 Mile.
7, but
7 miles.
But who's counting? Yeah.
You know, I mean, come on, I'm a Detroiter.
We're in the vicinity.
We're in the neighborhood. So this amazing facility back here, Mitch and Matt and Kelly Stafford and a number of other people, right, Rosie? You guys made this thing happen years ago, and now it's today a big announcement coming up today.
Yes, actually today is the ceremonial groundbreaking of the Kelly and Matthew Stafford and Friends Education Center. It's been a little over a year in the making. Matthew, upon leaving town to go to the LA Rams and win a Super Bowl, by the way, wanted to leave a kind of a legacy. You know, he started here in town 13 years ago. He actually helped us open the Say Play Center, which is going on 8 years, by building a synthetic NFL football field.
Way back there. Tyler, I don't know if you can see it, but if Rosie and I both step away, on the other side of that sign, there's a black fence, and there's an amazing football field.
Yeah, it's an NFL synthetic field that I had the pleasure of making because I've never done that before. But Matthew, on his way out of town, and Kelly, they've been very, very philanthropic with the Detroit community. It's their beloved city. It's a city where they got married, raised a family, overcame some medical issues, and they kind of threw down the gauntlet by leaving us with $1 million towards this project. And then A.A. Van Elslander Foundation and several other legacy funders came on board, where we actually met our fundraising goal to move forward with this. So this has been a long time, a little over a year. And, getting the concept drawings to the city, getting the building permit. So now that we have the building permit, we're able to break the ground. And that's what we're doing today.
And you, right there, if you look, Tyler, so there's the dirt.
Right. We're not burying anybody. We're actually creating something from this pile of dirt.
You know, and this is a new piece of a new piece of this project, but you can't see it. But off just to our left, Tyler, is the Say Play Center that's been here for several years.
Yeah, it's been here for a very long time. It was named after the Lipke brothers, who are from this neighborhood, who unfortunately lost their lives in World War II. So it's the Say Play Center at Lipke Park, but it's 15 acres that we have granted to us, thank you, from the city of Detroit. But we're running out of space in the building. So this annex, this education center, is nearly 20,000 square feet of classrooms, learning labs, auditorium, theater, vocational training space. So it'll be really a game changer, allowing us to kind of, double the population of kids that we serve from all over Detroit.
You know, and when you and Mitch announced this a couple of years back, I recall Mitch saying, the people in Detroit, the young people in Detroit, deserve to have an after-school center that's every bit as good as it would be if it was in Birmingham. And that's what you've created here. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. And so students come here now after school. They enjoy the recreational facilities, but they study as well.
Yeah, the recreational facilities. And it's the first time I think the Lions and the Tigers and the Pistons are all under one roof. But that was sort of the carrot to say, hey, how can we improve academic performance, graduation rates, attendance? So we kind of dangled that as the carrot. So the kids come here from all over the city via our little fleet of buses after school. We feed them first, and they go into our academic learning center, which we call the Deep, because it was one time.
It was a pool.
And the pool is still underneath the flooring. I think we got all the water out, but I'm not certain of that. And the kids come there, and once they go through one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, social emotional learning, then they can avail themselves of these state-of-the-art facilities, not only in sports, but all other things, from dancing, recording studio that we have here, robotics, STEM education, just a whole slew of offerings.
And the carrot today, Tyler, and hence my Matt Stafford jersey, the carrot today is that Matt and Kelly, if they've been in town, they certainly haven't told anybody. And this is really their first, I think, public appearance since Matt went to LA and since he won the Super Bowl.
So it's a first time back in the city here. So it's kind of a homecoming. Yeah, it really is. And by the way, I think there should be a certain age where people cannot wear a football jersey Okay, he's wearing literally a Matthew Stafford jersey, and Dave is definitely over the age of 30.
Well, I know, but I've done it in style. I've kind of,
you're hiding it.
I put the whole package together, right?
You got to go hang it in the rafters, Dave. Hang it in the rafters. Retire the number 9 at Michigan Digital.
So before we go, I just want to let everybody know, big announcement. We'll have it here on My, and we can certainly have it on our Civic Center TV outlets. It'll be about 3 o'clock.
Yes.
And Matthew will be here. The mayor will be here. You're going to see all this in the news tonight, but if you want to, you want to see it before it gets on the news, right? And this is the first break here, Tyler. You're getting it on your show. Tune in. We'll have it all streaming here. And Rosie, hey, You and Mr. Mitch Alton do a beautiful job, done a great job for this community.
You've been a big part of that success, and we appreciate you, Dave.
Tyler, any final questions or thoughts from either of us?
No, we'll have a lot of those questions. All will be answered this afternoon on My. So if you want to tune in, go ahead. Tune in 3 o'clock, you said, Dave, correct?
Okay, and there it is. There's the dirt.
Yes.
We'll be shoveling dirt today and starting something new and big.
Very nice. Thank you very much, Dave, Rosie. Appreciate it. We're going to take a break here on the Michigan Megacast. On the other side, we will talk to one of nearly 300 Share Detroit-supported charities and nonprofits. The founder of FaithWorks Michigan will join us next. This is the Michigan Megacast.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. When you don't know where to turn, let 211 be your guiding light.
How can I help you?
Our guides are ready to connect you with the help you need. For help with food, healthcare, mental health, and other resources, call 211 or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected, get help.
We may come from different organizations,
but we work together to protect the Huron River for everyone.
Neighborhood storm drains carry water directly to local creeks and streams. No filters, no treatment.
Storm drains also help reduce street flooding when it rains.
So clearing storm drains and the areas nearby of trash and leaves helps keep them for rain only.
It is easy to do your part by adopting a storm drain.
Find a storm drain, check it, and clear it every month.
So keep storm drains for rain only.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
If you are struggling to afford your internet bills during the pandemic, there's a temporary government program that may be able to help. It's called the Emergency Broadband Benefit, and it provides up to a $50 monthly discount on your broadband bill to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll, at fcc.gov/broadbandbenefit or call toll-free at 833-511-0311.
A public service announcement from 89.3 Lakes FM.
We as Michiganders feel connected to this resource in a way that I think is really powerful.
Conservation starts with a caring, committed community.
For me, it's peaceful to have a relationship with the river.
Every single one of us has a role to make sure that those waterways stay safe and healthy, being careful about what goes down the storm drain.
Just even eliminating some of your single-use plastic makes a difference.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
Did you know that nearly 3.31 million Americans don't get their annual checkup? Going to the doctor regularly is extremely important and is a crucial factor in maintaining good health. Make sure you are visiting your local doctor often and telling them about any health concerns you have. For more information, contact your local healthcare provider. This message is brought to you by WBHS Digital Media Arts Program and 89.3 Lakes FM.
People are getting out to walk and bike in higher numbers. More vulnerable road users and higher speed traffic can be a dangerous combination. Crash severity has increased, so if you're driving, be sure to slow down and look for people. There's no need to speed. If you're biking, ride with traffic. If you're walking, avoid stepping into the road if possible. If you have to walk in the street, walk facing traffic. Learn more at walkbikedrivesafe.org.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. When you don't know where to turn, let 211 be your guiding light.
How can I help you?
Our guides are ready to connect you with the help you need. For help with food, healthcare, mental health, and other resources, call 211 or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected, get help.
Parents do a lot of worrying. Get your kids caught up on childhood vaccines to protect them from these 14 preventable diseases, and you'll have 14 fewer things to worry about. Vaccines are safe and effective and save lives. So let's get caught up on vaccines and worry about something else. Get the facts at ivaccinate.org.
Welcome back to the Michigan Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe. To learn more about the program at civiccentertv.com/megacast, where you'll find information on our entire network of stations, including My Michigan TV. Our next guest is the founder of FaithWorks Michigan, one of nearly 300 Share Detroit-supported charities and nonprofits. Rick Banderas joins us now on the Michigan Megacast. Rick, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate having you on. So first off, tell us about FaithWorks Michigan and the work that you do to support people in our communities.
Yeah, well, FaithWorks is a 501c3 charity. We got together, 7 of us, back in 2009 when I retired after 30 years with PPG Industries in the automotive coatings division. And when I retired, one of the guys who's one of the original founders, I mean, there's 7 of us that are actually co-founders of FaithWorks. He asked me to join a little Bible study at Panera at 6 in the morning on Mondays. And one of the guys in the group got a hold of a video series called The Truth Project. And actually, the 7 of us watching that video series really was the beginning of everything.
We're joined by Rick Banderas. He is the founder of FaithWorks Michigan, with us on the Michigan Megacast. And so who are some of the people that your organization then serves? What's some of the work that you do? Who do you serve across Michigan?
Well, we originally started out serving widows. You know, after viewing the Truth Project, the final video session, the commentator said, "What are you going to do for the kingdom?" And so that kind of perplexed us. You know, what are we going to do for the kingdom? I mean, you know, we all went to church on Sunday, and you know, we were doing some Bible study. We felt we were pretty good guys, and so one of the guys said, "Well, just let's just all pray on it and see if anybody gets enlightened." Well, he runs into a lady that he knew just lost her husband at his church. And he asked her what she was doing there, and she said they formed a widows club. So that the light bulb went off right there. And it's biblical. We're supposed to serve widows and orphans. So that's really how we started. We started going to the widows meetings, and they would bring a list of stuff that needed done in their house or their condo or wherever they were living. And I mean, we weren't skilled trades guys back then. We were just regular guys, but they didn't really need a whole lot of help. They needed a light bulb changed or a furnace filter, changed or something like that. Pretty simple stuff. But from that, we started serving single moms. We started serving the elderly through the OPC up here in Rochester. We started serving handicapped and basically people in need, people that can't afford to fix their house up, to make it safe and more livable. they can call, they can get a hold of us, and we'll come out and we'll take care of it.
More information on their website, faithworksmichigan.org. That is faithworksmichigan.org. If you're interested in learning more, they do have Zoom meetings Monday mornings at 8 a.m. That information is on their website again, faithworksmichigan.org. You can also learn more about FaithWorks Michigan by visiting the Shared Detroit platform at shareddetroit.org. Rick Bonderis, the founder of FaithWorks Michigan, joins us now on the Michigan Megacast. And so when people are in need of some of your services, how do you come in contact with them? You mentioned in the past it's been through your church organization, through the widows group initially when you were working specifically with widows, and now that's more into the general community and people that are in need of home repairs or home improvements in their lives. How do they get involved with FaithWorks Michigan in order to help them get what they need in their home?
Right. Yeah. Well, if they go onto our website, there's a list of numerous agencies that we work with that are partners of us, and they need to call one of those agencies. They'll vet them to make sure that they qualify for our services, and then they will forward information on to us, contact information, what they need done, and that sort of thing. And then what we do, we'll send a couple guys out to check out what needs to be done. It'll be brought up at the next Monday morning meeting, and then we'll assign somebody to head that project up and get together the skilled trades guys that are needed to fix the situation.
We're joined by Rick Bonderis. He is the founder of FaithWorks Michigan, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. More information is on their website, faithworksmichigan.org. It's also on shareddetroit.org. If you navigate to their Find a Charity and Nonprofit, you'll just have to search. All you have to do is go into that page and go into their search bar on the left side of the screen, type in FaithWorks Michigan, and then you'll be able to access their website, access maybe a wish list of some items they need, find contact information, upcoming events, and more, all through the Shared Detroit platform at shareddetroit.org, or you can go straight to the resource itself, faithworksmichigan.org. And so you mentioned some of those partners that these individuals that go to your organization for help may partner with for those home improvements. What are some of those partners in the community that your organization is working with to provide these services to people in need?
Yeah, well, we're partnered with numerous organizations, but the organizations that they would call to get vetted would be, through this Rochester Area Neighborhood House, or the OPC, or Love Inc. Any one of those organizations, would vet them and get back in touch with us.
We're joined by Rick Bonderis. He's the founder of FaithWorks Michigan, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. Again, more information is on their website at faithworksmichigan.org, whether or not you'd like to get involved with the organization, which you can do, and learn more about them at their Zoom meetings Mondays at 8 a.m., and they have information on that. Also on their website, you want to donate to the organization, you'd like to get involved with the organization, plenty of opportunities and information on their website, faithworksmichigan.org. And Rick, let's talk about some of those volunteer opportunities. Are there volunteer opportunities available through your organization? And if so, in what capacity can people get involved?
Well, I'll tell you, we have a lot of skilled trades guys in our group, plumbers, carpenters, roofers, all sorts of skilled trade guys. But we've got a lot of guys like myself, and I'm not a skilled trade guy, but I'm a good helper. I can figure out what tool the skilled trade guy needs to use next, and I can hand it to him. So, you don't have to be a skilled trade person to be part of FaithWorks. We'll take we'll take you and we'll train you in different areas, and we have women, men, even students. We've got a lot of students that are in our program through Rochester University, and so you just have to go on the website and fill out a member form, and we'll get in touch with you.
Tell us about some of those students that are involved in the special work that they're doing for your organization. I know you have an intern from Rochester that's doing some work with your organization. Can you talk about the impact that they are having on both your organization, but also the people that are benefiting from your organization's work?
Yeah, we started a phenomenal relationship with Rochester University years ago. In fact, the men's basketball team, they've become our movers. because a lot of the guys in FaithWorks are around my age, and moving heavy furniture and stuff is not our forte anymore. So I just call, Coach Pleasant, at the university and tell them, we need 6 guys to move this person, into an assisted living or whatever. And, he'll say what time and where. And if they're in town, of course, they're playing basketball a lot of times, but if they're in town, he supplies them. So that kind of led to the beginning of our relationship with RU. And then we started to sponsor an intern. We have a FaithWorks intern, and the one that we have right now, she actually started a FaithWorks RU program at RU. So the students can sign up to come and help us on projects, and they've helped us on numerous projects that we've done over the years. So it's a tremendous relationship, and we're just really happy to sponsor an intern there at RU.
So if people would like to get involved with your organization, they'd like to volunteer, they'd like to get more involved in the communication between these people that you are serving and these organizations that you're partnering with, how can they go about getting involved with FaithWorks Michigan?
Yeah, what they can do is, like I said, just go on our website, faithworksmichigan.org, and there's a member tab, and you just hit that tab and you'll fill out an application, and that'll go to our webmaster, and he'll send you an invitation to join our Monday meeting. And you don't have to join the Monday meeting if to be a member of FaithWorks, because a lot of people work. And our meetings are at 8 o'clock on a Monday morning. So, but he'll get in touch with you and get you vetted and get you part of the team.
More information on shareddetroit.org and also on faithworksmichigan.org. If you go to shareddetroit.org, you can learn a lot of information, their phone number, you can get in contact with them, find their website as well. If you do not remember faithworksmichigan.org, you can send an email to them, learn more information, and also find some items on wish lists that they may need for their organization. At this time, they need some furnace air filters. They also need an entry ramp, an aluminum entry ramp as well for some of their projects. And you can help them with these items and help them, of course, with donations at shareddetroit.org. You can also learn more information and get involved at faithworksmichigan.org. We're joined by founder Rick Bonderis of FaithWorks Michigan, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. Rick, another minute or so before we'll let you go today. Anything else that we haven't discussed that you'd like to talk about with your organization, or anything else that our audience should know about FaithWorks Michigan today?
Well, I'll just end with, I didn't consciously pick FaithWorks, as my kingdom work, but this small group of 7 guys meeting to do a little Bible study has led to over 100 members, partners and supporters of our mission. And since inception, we've raised over $1 million, and we've completed over 1,000 projects. And we're just getting bigger every single year, and more people are responding because there's more people in need, but also people are responding to support us as well. And if you go on our webpage, you can see where you can actually donate to FaithWorks. One of the most unique things about FaithWorks is we're a 501c3 charity, like all charities, but we have no paid positions. No one gets paid at FaithWorks. Everybody volunteers their time to help those in need. So we're very unique in that way, and 97% of everything we raise goes directly to the project that we're trying to complete.
Rick, thank you so much for joining us.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. More information in a couple different places. ShareDetroit.org. You go there, you go to their Find a Charity or Nonprofit page at the top of their webpage. Just scroll down a little bit, click Find Nonprofits. You'll be able to learn more there by searching FaithWorks Michigan, and you can also learn more about the 294 other Shared Detroit supported charities and nonprofits. If you'd like to learn more about FaithWorks Michigan directly from the organization, their website again, faithworksmichigan.org. That's faithworksmichigan.org. And as Rick said, you don't have to join their Zoom meeting, their Monday morning Zoom meetings at 8 a.m. with information on their website in order to get involved with the organization. But you can learn more and get in contact with them and get involved by going to their website, faithworksmichigan.org or sharedetroit.org. That is going to do it for this week's editions of the Oakland County and the Michigan Megacasts. Of course, you can always keep up to date on everything that related to the program by visiting our website at civiccentertv.com and clicking on our Megacast link or typing in civiccentertv.com/Megacast. There you'll find information about all of our partnering TV and radio outlets in the Oakland County area, about web outlets such as My Michigan TV, and be able to find all of our full episodes and each individual interview, including our most recent interview with Rick Bonderis, on our website at civiccentertv.com/Megacast. Our on-demand page is updated usually mid to late afternoon each day after our programs with all of our interviews from that day as my earpiece falls out. civiccentertv.com/Megacast. You can also go to our coronavirus page, civiccentertv.com/coronavirus. It'll keep you up to date on all you need to know about COVID-19 from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in Atlanta, Georgia, the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services in Lansing, and of course from the Oakland County Health Division as well, located in Pontiac, Michigan. civiccentertv.com/coronavirus, where we also have articles each and every day that we are pulling from different journalistic outlets all throughout the state of Michigan to keep you updated on COVID-19, of course, but also on other stories making headlines all across the Great Lakes state on a number of different topics and a number of different facets of life here in Michigan. It keeps you up to date on everything you need to know about your state each and every day. Again, that's civiccentertv.com/coronavirus. Those links to the CDC, the MDHHS, and the Oakland County Health Division are located at the top of the page, and just below that are those articles, and we usually will take a summary of those articles. We won't pull them not necessarily in full, but if you click on the link, if you click on the thumbnail picture, it'll take you to that full article, and while you're over there, highly encourage you, if you have the means to do so, to subscribe to these publications and support local journalism all throughout the state of Michigan. Big thank you as well to our crew that make this program possible each and every day. Our board operator and our technical director, Calvin Brown, with me in the studio every single day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. until 12 noon. I'm just going to get rid of this earpiece now because it is playing games with me. Our Zoom producer, Jared Clark, at the office of My Michigan TV, located in the bustling metropolis of Troy, Michigan. Larry Nyland, the king of television, our producer, and Maddie Mustian out at Master Control, helping us on and off the air. On My Michigan TV, Lato Live is next, and then at 3 o'clock, they'll be down at the Say Play Center to support what we talked to Dave Scott about earlier on. We'll return Monday at 10 a.m.